Hey, and welcome to an episode of the Roving Nothing Ventured podcast. We're here at the Dream Factory in Chance Street for the London Venture Capital Network drinks event. Looking forward to getting some hot mic'd, scandalous 3-minute bites from all the various guests that are turning up today. It's going to be a hot evening. Looking forward to it. Back once again with the Roaming Nothing Ventured podcast here today at the Dream Factory at the London Venture Capital Networking event. Really cool to have Dami Hastrup in the studio with me. Dani is the founder and CEO of MoonHub, which is a virtual reality-driven learning and development platform changing the way people think about upskilling. Dami, great to have you here in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
No, awesome. So let's dive straight in. So for our audience, what was your first ever job?
My first ever job. I was actually working for my mum when I was, I'm not going to say what age, I was young because I was doing an internship. No, but she has a chain of nurseries in West London, and I watched very closely how she built something from zero to where it is now 20 years later.
Yeah.
But my first proper job was in retail when I worked at Abercrombie & Fitch, and for everyone listening, please don't judge me. A check is a check.
As long as you're not wearing the kit, it's fine.
Not wearing the kit.
Okay,
No.
fine. All right, we'll deal with that, and we have proof on camera. What was it that prompted you to found MoonHub?
So training is rubbish. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to swear on here, but
Yeah,
training
you
is
are, 100%.
crap. It doesn't work. It's simply ineffective. But everyone's died a death by PowerPoint at some point. And companies spend so much money on this, from law firms where I've done internships and worked at to when I was working in perforation analytics. And when it comes to training itself, people have to learn, but the way that training is delivered isn't effective. So what ends up happening is that people only retain about 5% of the information that they learn through classroom-based training. And yeah, it was broken. So when I founded the company in 2016, I had this strange notion that if you could blend learning on the job with corporate training and corporate learning, you could try and bring those numbers up. And years later, with several studies coming out following the trend that I thought was going to happen, you can actually retain up to 75% of that information rather than 5.
Amazing.
Train up to 4 times faster and save massive heaps of cost at scale as well. So it's an all-round slam dunk for VR training.
Yeah. And if you hadn't have founded MoonHub, what do you reckon you'd be doing?
Goodness, oh man. A lot of my friends from university went to Canary Wharf. I did not want to go there.
It's a bit of a schlep.
Yeah, but again, having said that, maybe one of the big 4, but I think I'd have just been doing something else, built something else. I'd have probably gotten tired of corporate pretty quickly.
Yeah, found a life, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about MoonHub for a second.
Sure.
Bootstrapped, funded, what's the funding journey been for you?
Sure. So founded it in 2016 and was self-funded, bootstrapped, part-time jobs for the first 3.5 years whilst we just tested to see if it worked.
So proper founder. Okay.
Proper founder. And built around our patented scoring system. And for anyone listening, MoonHub, what we do is we put you in 360 video VR scenarios and you are tested kind of like hazard perception in a driving test. You look and you click and we can give you tons of data like how quickly you notice things, your intuition, spatial awareness, all from that one look and click. And we then went to market in 2020, which is a terrible time to commercialize anything. But we got our first major client, which was Just Eat. And from there, it kind of started snowballing, and we got the oldest security company in the world, Core Security. And from there, just loads of security companies and facilities management companies started signing on board to the tune, I think you heard earlier, we just signed the biggest one in Europe.
Amazing.
Last
Congratulations.
Week. Thank you. But in terms of funding, we were backed by Pi Labs and Ada Ventures last year in a seed round that was $2.6 million.
Yep. Love Matt and Czech. Amazing.
They're great.
Yep.
I have a board meeting with Matt tomorrow. So Matt, if you're listening to this, put this out before tomorrow.
Say hello to him.
Yeah.
From me.
But no, and we'd also had angel investors invest in us during the fundraise, during the bootstrapped era as well. So Miles Jacobson, the studio manager behind Football Manager, and Roland Ewubare as well. So it was been interesting. And since the funding round, we've also been backed by Google from the Black Founders Fund and Meta through cash grants and stuff too.
Amazing. Well, this is going to make my next question seem a little bit weak, maybe in that case. So if you were to have like a dream team of investors or even board members on your in your business, like who would your top 3 be?
My current VCs, they're so wonderful. No, on a serious note, no, they are. It's interesting. When I entered into the VC scape, people used to drop names at me, and I'd say they sound great. I don't know who they are. They point to a VC in a room and say, "Did you know that so and so?" And I'm like, "No, but did you know this person makes amazing tacos at the fish stand next to us?" I just didn't know, and I didn't care. I'm semi there at the moment, and I have VCs that I think are fantastic and have great results. So of course everyone knows the Sequoias and the Accels and the Index Ventures, but I would really like to work with Creandum. The team there are fantastic, and we have a bit of an ongoing building relationship as well. Unconventional. I think Nora and Thea are fantastic. We're currently speaking to them about our current round. And just some other VCs in the mix that I can name quite a few, but there's one more that I really like, and that would be on the sort of East Coast Convoy Ventures. They were quite cool when we spoke to them too.
Amazing. And Dami, for our audience, if they want to find you online, where's the best place for them to look for you on LinkedIn, Twitter, where
at Dami Hastrup on all platforms. Sorry, it's been a long day and I'm not usually this dreary, but yeah, Dami Hastrup on all platforms: Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Is it Twitter or X now? Twitter.
I keep calling it Twitter. So
yeah, Twitter. Anyway, cheers. Thank you. Appreciate that.
No, really appreciate you joining me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Awesome.